Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm Greg Sitnek, running for Indian Trail Improvement District Supervisor at seat number 3. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the Acreage Landowners Association for giving us this opportunity to come and speak to a group of people about what we think about as we would proceed as if we're elected to be a supervisor. Secondly, I'd like to thank the existing board supervisors, Michelle DeMone, Mike Erickson, Carol Jacobs, Ralph Baer, and Carlos Enriquez for just doing their job. I mean, the community asks a lot of these people, and they come and they do a lot of work. And I'd also like to thank all the people who have served in the past. I believe they've all done a good job. We have good parks, and good drainage, and okay dirt roads. And overall, I think good management of district assets. Now, it's time to take it all to another level. And that's one of the reasons that I'm here tonight. And how about the weather last week? That cold front came through?
Gorgeous.
That was our first one, and it got really cold. It was very cold. I was out driving around, and I drove by the offices here, and it was so cold I saw some politicians out front with their hands in their own pockets. That's cold. But y'all know me. I was at the last meeting here, and if you need to know anything about me personally or how I stand on those issues the town crier was putting to the previous candidates, that's all well documented on the town crier website. You can go and look at that. So I thought I'd talk about 2 other subjects tonight that I hadn't been asked about, but I thought are of interest to myself and hopefully to the community. First of all is outsourcing. I've had some first-hand experience at outsourcing as a fleet manager in a big government. One of the first things they look at when the budget gets tough is, let's outsource the fleet. We can save millions of dollars there. So I've been down the road several times, myself and other people in the state of Florida. I personally am not in favor of outsourcing. I don't believe there's a real good reason why government can't function as efficiently and as effectively as private business. If you couple that with the fact that the government doesn't even have to make a profit, they should be competitive. So why would you outsource? There are some good reasons. If you don't have the capital equipment or experience to do something, if you don't have the technical people on board to do a task, you can outsource. One of the main reasons it is outsourced, though, is a bad reason, and that's simply because you can't do it competitively. And I think that's a problem. And one of the risks of outsourcing, once you outsource, you divest yourself of the assets that you did use to perform the job, even though poorly. Once those assets are gone, these contractors know that, and for you to get back into the business requires a huge capital expenditure for equipment and possibly personnel. And once they realize all of this and you can't do it, the price of your contract will go up annually to a point where it's going to cost you more than it did before. So what I'd like to see done is, rather than just straight outsourcing, I'd like to see something along the lines of a managed competition, where what you do basically is you start out with a really good, clean, clear, concise set of specifications. And then you not only allow, but you encourage the district employees to bid on it, along with the private companies that are going to submit proposals also. You want your own people to submit a proposal. And when they do, and they win, it's amazing what happens. The pride in what they do just wells up. It promotes a great working relationship between labor and management, because they have to work together to put the proposal together, and there's a lot of other intangible benefits. But I'd really like to see managed competition used wherever possible when it comes to outsourcing a service or whatever it is. I was driving my car around last week. I got this big sign on top of it. I don't know if some of you have seen it, some haven't. I made it myself, so it's kind of cool. It says my name and then IDIT, seat 3. And I drove by a bus stop with a bunch of kids out there. And the kid yelled, "Hey, mister, you spelled idiot wrong." And I thought, well, I'm running for the wrong office. Maybe I ought to be running for school board. Maybe they can fix that kid.
Use a good school board.
The second thing I'd like to talk about is a cultural change. Those are good to talk about and hard to do. I'd like to get the district to embrace the concept like, run it like you own it. That dollar I'm going to spend now is my dollar. And it's my last one. And you need to ask yourself, would you spend your own personal money to have that service performed? And if the answer is no, then you got a problem. So how do you start to change that? What I'd like to see done is develop realistic goals and objectives. Develop measurable and quantifiable performance measures at every level of the organization. And then you start out by comparing yourself to yourself, this year to last year. And as you develop a database of these performance indicators, you'll be able to see, are you getting better, or are you getting worse? If you're getting worse, why? Sometimes there's real good reasons. And then take it a step further and compare yourself to other municipalities that are doing similar things. And you can do that by looking into the Florida Benchmark Consortium. I was involved in that on the fleet end for a while. In this run it like you own it starts at the top of the organization and it goes down. If the people down see the supervisors, the administrators employing that approach, it's going to percolate right on down to everybody in the organization, and that'll make a giant step forward from that good to the great. That's where we want to be. So those are just two things I'd like to work on, among others. And whether I win or lose, I'd ask all of you to contact those three, or that new board that's going to get sworn in, whatever, and tell them that you're not happy with having a good community. You want a great community. And you want them to lead you to that.
Yep.
And remind them periodically after that. The journey's never over. You're never to the end. The end is never attainable. There's always room for improvement, no matter what you're doing or where you're at or what level the organization you're in. So, just a couple things that I'd like to do if I'm so fortunate to be elected one of the supervisors. So, thank you.